And yeah, we should be getting games underway. 10 seconds to games. All right, folks, very exciting. Here we go. Day 2, qualifier 2 is starting, and we've got David Pravian against Aram Hakobian. So these two are in the losers bracket. Now the way this works is if you're in the losers bracket, that means you've got 1 life, right? You get knocked out, you lose a match, you're out of the competition. So they are starting off with a 5+1 game, the first of 2, before moving on to Faster Blitz and then Bullet. And Pravian comes out with the Catalan. Very, very common opening. You often see this one at all levels and all time controls. Actually, not all levels. Let me correct that. Higher levels, but all time controls at the higher levels. And here White's putting the bishop on g2. It's going to be exerting the pressure along the long diagonal for the rest of the game. But the drawback is that it does give Black the opportunity to try to snag a pawn and force White to spend a lot of time recapturing it, possibly with the queen. So these two are battling it out in this opening here. It feels like both players kind of familiar with what they're doing. Aram has played this a5 followed by dc4 line, which I feel like is quite dynamic. Now the big question here for Black is always what's going to happen with this light squared bishop. If the bishop can get to b7, generally Black is supposed to be totally fine in this kind of situation. But if it's not able to develop, if White is somehow able to just pile up on this diagonal, then yeah, Black is often experiencing issues here. So we'll see how Pravian handles this one. I believe he's a pretty experienced Catalan player. Plays a lot of these types of positions, because you can also go g3, bishop g2, and fianchetto the bishop against many openings, not just, let's say, Queen's Gambit declined. And oh, here we go, big moment, b6. And this is where White needs to stop and think and see if they have any kind of discoveries. Goes for knight e5. And now how is Black going to deal with this one? Because rook a7, knight c6, you hang the exchange. So knight d5, covering the diagonal with the knight. Now White takes on c4. And he's going to be looking to build up pressure now with the rooks next. Rook d1, rook c1. But Black gets bishop b7 in, and seems like Black could be all right. Some trades might be happening pretty soon as well. Bishop a6. Okay, that's another way to develop the bishop, just putting some pressure on the knight on c4. Now, these two are very evenly matched in terms of the rating. 29.93 for Pravian versus 30.25 for Aram. I mean, these 3,000 ratings, honestly, they've gotten a little bit out of control, folks. Okay, knight takes e5. Now we'll see how White recaptures. I think the natural way, would be to take with the knight to reintroduce this knight c6 idea. Now White is also threatening a potential e4, which could win the knight on d5, but rook c8, introducing a bigger threat in the position. Bishop takes f2 check. White is definitely going to be sidestepping this one, either queen b3, queen b1. Let's see, queen a4, I guess, also possible. Queen d2. Now, I wasn't expecting in this one. Eval Bar doesn't like this move either. I mean, it gives up the pin along the d file. Now Black could even take on f4, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't see what's so special about that for White. Bishop b4, probably even stronger, actually just hitting the queen. Where's this queen going? It doesn't have a lot of squares. Queen d4. Minimum Black can play bishop c5 and repeat, but oh, bishop takes e2. Pawn is just hanging. He just snags a pawn. Now bishop takes d5, but Black is always going to have this exchange to take in the future. So Aram's a little bit down on time, about a minute, but his position looks really good. I mean, I think he's about to win a full exchange. Now takes. Yeah, White's rooks are still hanging, and Black has managed to go into the endgame. Okay, knight d7, trying to get the exchange back. And let's see if he takes the rook, or just, I feel like you can just move the rook as well. You got to deal with knight takes b6, but the problem for White is that it's very difficult to get out of this fork. Okay, he decides to just take on d1. And, oh, that was an interesting moment. If knight takes f8, then I believe Black goes bishop g4. to trap the knight and go up a piece. So that's why white just recaptured rather than trying to keep the material even. But now black gets the exchange. Knight takes b6, a rook comes in with a rook to c2. This makes a lot of sense. Black's second rook can invade here soon as well. And yeah, this looks very, very good for Hakobian for this first game. Let's see if we can get some move sounds. All right, move sounds. Move sounds should be live. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if we get some move sounds. There we go. Beautiful. All right. The bishop e3. And now, yeah, black's rook is just collecting. Feels like a completely winning endgame for black. It's just a matter of technique. You have to find a way to break through. Let's see how he's going to manage. And okay, we have a bunch of games going on in the other matches, so let's jump around a bit. I think Hakobian is going to be winning this one. Let's go to the other game in the losers bracket, because these are elimination matches. We've got